My name's Sarah Wallock. I'm the author of Chasing a Feeling, Charting a Path of Adventure is the Only Living Daughter. Today I'm going to do a little Q&A about my book with Boulder Bookstore. They're my local independent bookstore, and I'm so excited to have my book up for purchase there. So go grab a copy and yeah. So can I give you a brief synopsis of my book? Yes, of course. So, this is a memoir about travel, adventure, the outdoors, being a woman. And what prompted me to write it is getting diagnosed with a rare brain tumor at 25 years old. So 2 summers ago, I had seizures and was diagnosed with this obscure tumor, was rushed into brain surgery, and survived my near-death experience. It only felt fitting to put pen to paper and write about it as a writer and a creative and photographer. What inspired you to write this book? I had already been thinking of writing a memoir or a book at some point. I wrote an 80-page college thesis on ecotourism and how digital media impacts tourism destinations. So it only felt fitting to tie in some of my professional experience in the outdoor industry and digital storytelling with my personal experiences of like running to the mountains when I need them most and overcoming mental and physical battles to persevere. Let's see. Did you write journals when you were young, or did you rely on your memory of those close to you to write this story? I did write a lot of journals when I was young. I had the privilege of spending the summers in Yosemite at a camp where I later met my husband. And all the way from kid to adulthood, I would spend time writing in the summers. I even brought Plato's Republic as my college summer read. uh, Thanks, Bard, for making me read that book because it's a great book. But anyway, uh, it was mostly a stream of consciousness, and my editor, Anna Russian, helped me sort through my thoughts and put them into a more linear and easier to follow trajectory of my life and themes of a snowboard chapter, a dance chapter, a chapter about, yeah, being a woman and what that's like when you kind of perceive people's different identities and how you're perceived by the world in your upbringing. Uh, How does travel in the outdoors play into your story? Yeah, in that theme of femininity, growing up, I didn't feel really celebrated or included in a lot of spaces. I didn't want to wear makeup or high heels or drink lame beer at parties. I never saw myself represented. I wanted to be around women who were badasses and like surfing, snowboarding, running, hiking, dancing, and like that free-spiritedness was never really shown to me in the general media or in magazines or in pop culture when I was a kid. I know that these things exist and I've seen them, but it wasn't the prevailing norm and I didn't see myself represented. So I really wanted to be that person for someone else where they could see me and say, hey, I look like her, I act like her, and that's okay. So travel in the outdoors have been like an incredibly healing space for me to connect with other people and other women who are like, yeah, I don't follow the norm. I'd be much happier getting up at 5 a.m. to go snowboarding than sit in a bar wearing makeup and high heels. And that's completely beautiful. What has been your favorite part of accepting that you were abnormal? Oh, being with your fellow weirdos is the best. Like, I'm glad I had a brain tumor because I would have been living really unhappily. And of course, everybody has certain challenges they go through, but after that happened, my tolerance for things that don't serve me is really low now. And I'm a lot quicker to discern, like, you know, I'm not normal. And normal's boring. The most creative and inspirational people are weirdos too. So I'm super honored and stoked to be in that group of weirdos. What are a couple of books that you've read recently that you've really loved? So My Brain Surgeon. Dr. Keith Black. He wrote a book called Brain Surgeon. He's fantastic, an amazing person, and great surgeon, fixed up my brain. That was funny to read it while I was healing from the brain surgery he performed on me. What else? Oh, Michelle Obama's The Light We Carry is a fantastic book. And like I said, I love Plato's Republic and a few classics as well that I've revisited. Is there anything else that you would want us to know about your book? It's funny. Medical things don't have to be scary. Like, I think that people might be afraid of the idea, of brain tumors, seizures, dead sisters, but hey, it's just life and I'm wading through it and I'm doing my best. So if that resonates with you, pick it up, give it a try. And I'm sure to make you laugh because I'm pretty funny. The little passage I'm going to read for you today is Finding Home All Over the World in an International Relationship, page 91. So this is about me and my husband, Nick. I didn't feel like I fit in the UK when visiting Nick, but I didn't feel at home where I was living in the Hudson Valley of New York either. I'd never felt at home in Southern California. I was always feeling a little unsettled. We definitely felt most at home in the outdoors. Like many international couples, we've shapeshifted in different places as a commitment to each other and searched for a home together. Though the moment I knew that my sense of placelessness in my relationship was abnormal was in Edinburgh, Scotland, when we were doing long distance between New York and London. In Edinburgh, we were lost and together in a foreign city. I was alone at first. I had insisted on taking the public bus to our Airbnb and had gotten lost on the way. The Scottish accent sounded like a foreign language, and I was confused and misunderstood by the bus driver. I was wandering around late at night without a working phone or any good sense of direction. Finally, I found the little chalet beside the river. I punched in the code and entered the building. I think I must have been the first person to ever stay there because everything was empty and immaculate. An empty white shell in the interior, a rustic, charming exterior. Something felt so sterile about this apartment with no emotion. From the inside, you couldn't tell you were in Edinburgh. It could have been anywhere in the world. It felt so unnerving and disorienting. Nick arrived a little less lost out of an Uber from the airport. He was not a broke college student like me. He was a working adult. We hadn't seen each other in months. We hugged and cried and hugged and cried. I was supposed to be excited to see him, but I couldn't help but feel upset and deflated. Because there we were together, in the middle of nowhere, but when would the distance end? We had been here before. I felt like I knew everything about him, but he was a stranger at the same time. Even though we talked on the phone every day, I missed seeing how he existed in the world, what he wore, his mannerisms, and how he interacted with people. I missed cuddles. It's as if he was somehow different than I imagined, but also entirely the same. It was such a strange way to begin a relationship with a huge portion of the first 2 years spent long distance. It was in that moment in Edinburgh that I knew I would do everything I could to not do long distance anymore. I just wanted to be a normal couple who did normal things. I wanted to live in the same place and have an in-person relationship. Another time Nick was visiting me in the US, we drove across the country from New York to California. I gave myself a haircut in the bathroom of an Airbnb in Santa Fe, New Mexico. We walked to Whole Foods, filled our grocery bags, cooked, and ate dinner in a stranger's dining room table. That was probably one of the most normal experiences we had ever had. Nothing ever belonged to us. Hiking in Yosemite was cool. Water skiing on Box Lake was nice. Running around New York for the weekend and enjoying fancy brunches was amazing. But it all felt like an extended holiday. Somehow, snuggling up in a tent near the Grand Canyon with no running water or toilets felt more like home than the fancy studio apartment in Santa Fe the night before. There's something about waking up to the sunrise and brushing our teeth outside that feels like home. Maybe camping felt like home because it's how we knew to exist together, mirroring our summers in Yosemite. I was determined to move in together after graduating college. We wanted to have a normal relationship and live in the same place. But nothing I've done is ever normal. And along the way, I was starting to notice the beauty in that. Yeah, grab a copy of my book from Boulder Bookstore. I'd love to have your support. Thank you.